see. That's it for the very first time. Ludus Press is live on YouTube. So welcome, everybody. We've also got the largest panel I think we've had, a 4-man group.
Possibly, hopefully 5 eventually.
Oh, we're going to lose one. Looks like the cops are here for Colin. Maybe they're chasing after those drag racers that we heard earlier.
Probably it's true.
And they finally caught up to him. That is probably true. To be honest, it's probably more true than not. Well, anyways, my name is Joe Castro. Welcome to Ludus Press's E3 prediction show. It's going to be a live show, but, we're not expecting too many viewers. Hopefully we'll get 1 or 2 maybe, but really we're going to record this show and mix it down for audio and release it all nice. But it's nice to have you guys on and live and do something shoot from the hip kind of video game talk.
And we wanted this to actually release before E3 started, and the first press conference is only in is in only a couple days, so
yeah, right.
We're gonna do a full edited thing in a couple days, so we thought let's get this out there.
Yeah, we're each gonna get a little pulpit basically to talk about each press conference before we go into depth about anybody's opinion. So I'm gonna run this a little bit like a debate. We're each gonna get 2 minutes to talk about the overall the company that we're focusing on, because we're doing this by press conference. So we're going to get 2 minutes each, and then if anybody's got something they want to bring up, a point, a counterpoint, or a longer discussion, we'll just have it until we're done. And then we'll move on to the next one. Sound good?
Yeah. Sounds good.
All right, a little bit of structure, and then a lot of fun. That's how I like to roll it.
Okay, so, in the side bar, I have posted the link to IGN's page, which is listing the press conferences in the order they occur.
Perfect.
And so that is the order we are going to discuss them in. So if anyone is watching and wants to keep up with what we're talking about, that's the list I'm using of press conferences. And in addition to that, we're going to start with Oculus, which occurred today. Yes,
I love it. So that's thank you, Base Google, for just clicking that right out into another window. And we're gonna talk about some fun stuff. I'm excited. I'm excited. All right, boys. So let's start off. I will be the unofficial MC. I'm going to introduce our panel of experts. So I want you guys all to. I will introduce you and then say hello, and then give me the name of your favorite variety of bagel. No, wait. We got to keep this video game theme. Give me your go-to Mario Kart character.
Go-to Mario Kart character.
Yeah, that's got to be a good one, right? All right, so first up, far left in my Google window is Colin Lawton. Hello, Colin. How are you tonight? Are you even around?
Cops got him.
Cops finally got him, yeah.
The cops literally finally got him.
To be honest, his girlfriend probably got him on the phone. So we'll wait for Colin to come back.
I evaded them. It took me a minute.
Stars back to 0.
They lost me. I have a blinking 1 star now, so I'm good.
It's going to be any second now. So, Colin, welcome back. Which character do you go to in Mario Kart?
I would have to say Yoshi.
Oh, good answer. Good answer. All right.
I just love Yoshi. I love how he's a dinosaur and he whoops butt. Like
those are 2 good adjectives. I like that bullet point list. Now, next up is Mike Buckley. Hello, Mike.
Hey, it's good to be back. I got my microphone fixed, and we're good to go now.
You sound great, buddy. You sound great. Yeah, it's awesome. It's great to have you back. And, Mike, who do you play in Mario Kart, man?
I usually, for all of those Mario-type games like Mario Kart, Mario Party, my go-to is Wario.
What? Really?
Yeah. I don't know.
Oh, that's a choice right there.
Gold coins. Gold coins. He loves gold coins.
And his inclusion in Super Smash Brothers is fantastic.
Wario is a character who's had such an interesting renaissance. Like he's always kind of had a stride. He's never had a big boom in popularity, but he's always had this steady popularity. Whereas Luigi had this weird spike in popularity, like in 2014.
That was called Nintendo wanted to manufacture a spike in Luigi popularity, and so they did so.
Hey, it works, but they haven't manufactured yet a real spike. But he had the WarioWare game, so yeah, great answer for Wario, man. Off the beaten track. Speaking of Seth Golovin, though, how are you, Seth Golovin?
I'm great. I'm looking forward to this weekend of E3.
Excellent. And your Mario Kart character?
God, I don't know if I have like a go-to Mario Kart character. Honestly, I pick one of the light guys.
The light guys?
As in not the heavy ones, like not Wario or Bowser or Donkey Kong. You know, I go with like maybe Luigi or Peach or Toad, maybe.
Okay,
Like
okay.
a character that's light, that's not Waluigi.
Good answer, good answer. I am Joe LaCastro, and I like to play as Daisy. I like Daisy because she's not Peach. That's the reason that I like Daisy. It's she's off the beaten track. She's just as I think she should be just as popular of a character. She was one of those characters that Nintendo had to be like, hey, remember Peach and Daisy are not the same person. So many people would just assume that it's been like Peach the entire time. But I'm all aboard the Daisy train. So I would go to Daisy, but I was under the impression that Toad was the fastest character in the game for some reason. So I would often play as Toad.
I believe Toad might be the fastest.
Yeah, there's rubber banding. There's rubber banding in that game. Everybody's the fastest.
That's true.
So that's my argument there. Enough with Nintendo. We'll talk about them in a little bit. Let's start with Oculus Rift. Everybody's got 2 minutes to talk. Colin, give us 2 minutes about your VR. Well, we'll talk about the actual conference. I haven't seen the conference. Who's seen it, first of all? Who's seen it?
I saw all of the highlights, and I read all that occurred. So if you want me to give you a summary of what happened,
yes,
then I
that's a good start, because it's the only one that's happened so far. So our format is totally screwed unless we start with the description. So give us give us the good points on the Oculus.
Okay, so Oculus, they announced the consumer model. It is coming in the first quarter of 2016. They did not announce a price, but they did announce, surprisingly, that every model will come with an Xbox One controller.
What?
Yes, and that the Xbox One will actually, you'll be able to stream Xbox games to your Oculus Rift, and the games won't have Oculus support. The Rift is going to create a digital living room for you to play your Xbox games on wherever you are in your house.
That
Amazing.
Is dope as hell.
So you put goggles on, and there's a screen within the screen showing the game, and you're sitting on a virtual couch inside of your virtual living room that Oculus has created for you.
I'm in love. Man, okay, that's awesome. I'm going to keep my thoughts for later. Give us some more.
Okay. In addition to the Xbox One controller, they are also working on their own controller, which I believe is called the Touch. And I am not going to attempt to describe this. I'm going to just link everyone the GameSpot write-up of it, because I can't describe, and there's a picture and you can see it. So 1 second.
Yeah, I'm looking at a picture of it right now.
Okay. So for anyone who wants to look, there is... Whoops, that wasn't the right thing.
Yeah,
Hold on.
I'm looking at the article I think you're sending right now. That's... Whoa.
Fixed.
That is a unique shape. I will...
Okay, so everyone take a look at that. The basic gist of it is that it will measure where your fingers are on the device, so you can use both finger movement and button input to control the game.
Wow.
And you have both of those. You have one in each hand.
That's crazy.
And so the idea is to offer support for more traditional games, and to also offer the sort of tactile gripping movement that the Morpheus is providing with the PlayStation Move, and Valve is providing with their wand controller thing as well.
So here is a picture of the Rift controller.
Hey, I like this.
I have shared it here on Google Hangout. It should show up actually in the video.
That's awesome.
So there's the Rift itself. Let me see if I can get another picture of this thing. Oh yeah, here we go. Use your keyboard. All right, wow.
So, like the circular thing that we see with what looks like little dots and sensors, is that picking up like all types of axes of movement?
Yeah, it's probably that controller is most likely being tracked by things you place in your room.
No, it is not.
No? Okay.
The actual controller itself, from my understanding, is touch sensitive.
Oh.
So you, by moving your hand across the controller, it is capturing your finger movement.
That is so strange.
That is my understanding. There was no comment about any sort of camera or sensor that went with this.
What do you think? What what do you think those little dots
Like,
are?
what is this thing?
That I don't know.
I gotta tell you, man, that device there has got to be what's tracking the
VR.
the actual movements of the hand controllers. It's got to be what this thing's doing.
It could be.
I will look more closely at this article. I just wanted to share that really quick.
Yeah. So,
Anything else good?
Crazy Controller announced. Let's see. They revealed their first batch of games
Oh yeah, I saw
that
a
are
little about
going
this.
to be. Oh, but while I'm getting those queued up, let me say they also announced they're going to have a Steam-like service exclusively for Oculus Rift games. So
Wow.
It's within the Rift, isn't it? Too.
yes,
as well.
the two advantages of that are one, it's within the Rift, so you don't have to take it off to get the game launched, as you do now with Steam, and two, it makes it so you can easily find every game supported on the Rift in a single location.
And
So-
it's all on Facebook.com's servers.
Most likely, yes.
Mhm.
So, we got from Insomniac Games, creator of Ratchet and Clank, The Edge of Nowhere, which looks to be some sort of Antarctic survival horror game.
Yeah.
From a
Interesting
third-person
picture.
perspective is what the trailer made it look like, which was surprising to me.
That's probably because the trailer can't accurately recreate the image from within the Oculus Rift.
Yes, I think that is
Although
going to
a
be
first-person camera would be just how you recreate it.
Yeah. I think the hardest thing that Oculus is going to have going forward is getting people to understand how cool virtual reality is without having them put a virtual reality helmet on.
Oh yeah, it's like we'd all buy a 3D TV if we saw how great they worked. You know, but how many people
I don't
actually?
think that's true.
I
But
would buy a 3D TV. I would buy it. I'm first in line. I would love a 3D
So-
TV.
As we're speaking, this is going to be in Seth's mind a revolutionary turn in gaming. I think it is.
What are
I've
you
always
saying?
I remember growing up and thinking, wow, virtual reality would be awesome. It's just going to expand from here, and we already have the equipment to do it. So, I think, whose house would you want to go to, the big 70-inch TV or the game that completely immerses you?
I wouldn't want to go to his house. I'd want to have it myself so that we can both go to our virtual house.
yeah, that's true.
The
The Oculus Rift is very much an immediately next to you person social device.
It's completely
Oh, yeah.
antisocial. Like
No,
it is literally.
That brings up another point.
I believe they have added a camera to the outside that you can basically switch on to see what's happening around you, possibly.
That's
And I know that the Sony headset allows you to basically lift the viewer away from your eyes so that you can see.
Yeah, it's but the view. It's like you slide your phone into it, right? Isn't that the
No,
Sony
so
one?
the Sony one is the PS4 one.
Oh yeah. Okay, well that's good. Yeah, because
So,
that's
okay,
that's one of the practical features they're gonna need to make sure is available is taking the damn thing off easily.
Right, yeah. The main difference with this consumer model of the Oculus and the model they were showing at GDC, from my understanding, is the ergonomics of it.
Yikes!
Just trying to make it feel good on your head. So, and that's really it's a big challenge. You have a whole screen you're wearing on your head.
Yeah, on your face, and it's pulling your neck down. Ugh, okay.
Right. So there's a lot of issues involved in making it so that doesn't strain your neck all that much. So,
Not to mention if you wear
supposedly they
glasses.
Glasses, yeah.
supposedly they claim that this model works exceptionally well on almost any type of head.
Mike, what is your takeaway?
I think it's well, first of all, the partnership with Microsoft, I think, is a good move on Microsoft's part. They have inevitably just entered into the VR race without having to do any research of their own, and developing like an entire new headset. And I think it'll also present like future opportunities where Microsoft will be able to create games that are exclusive or made to develop for the Oculus Rift.
That's true.
I do like. Oh, go ahead.
I'll see. We'll probably get a Gears of War out of it.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I'm a little skeptical about that controller. I guess it's one of those things where you can look at 1,000 pictures of it, but you're not going to know how it feels until you have it in your hands.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
I think it's telling that they are not including that controller with every Oculus.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, I think there will not be many games that will be able to actually utilize it, and that's one of the reasons why they're not giving it away. I think every game you buy with controller support is designed with an Xbox 360 controller in somebody's hand. Or maybe PS3.
The biggest thing for me is that during the press conference there was no word on any sort of apps or non-game type experiences, which sort of instills faith that they're primarily focused on making games for the Oculus Rift. And not only that, Oculus announced that it's going to contribute $10 million to help indie developers create games for the Rift.
Interesting. Well, so it's all games.
So,
what about?
There are a couple other. Oh, go ahead.
What about sound? I noticed that there seemed to be some type of sound device on it.
Yes, they have built. They built a headphones into it that are fully 3D audio.
Awesome.
Very good.
Which I think is really great because that is going to be a major issue right now, as far as we can tell with both the Valve and the Morpheus. There's no headphones built in, so you also have to buy headphones, and for an immersive experience, you need surround sound headphones.
Yeah, you need really good ones.
Right.
So
yeah,
and those can be expensive. They can be really expensive.
The Valve one, to me, is the one that I was the most interested in, and it was mostly because of the room projection mapping and the cameras on the outside being used to do head tracking at an incredibly high rate of accuracy, to the point where people have said it feels like it predicts where your head's going to move. So there's virtually no visual delay, and that's one of the things that makes the Rift a tough sell, is that there can be no visual delay between your head movements, or else you'll get really sick. And the Vive or the Vive seem to solve that problem pretty soundly with those cameras on the outside. So I'm interested to see what their next big announcement is.
What I'm hoping for is Oculus will come in at a little bit lower in terms of their specs. Because it sounds like you need a pretty powerful machine to run the Steam's VR machine.
Oh, really? Shit. Well.
Yeah, you need the minimum specs, if you take a look at it, are kind of crazy.
Well, then, long live the Oculus Rift. That's what I say, gentlemen. I'll get one Q1 2016.
There are a couple other games that were announced or shown off. Eve Valkyrie is something that has been announced for a while now. It's a space flight sim set in the EVE Online universe utilizing Oculus Rift. And they showed a gameplay demo, which it's hard to judge these demos because you look at it on your computer monitor on a TV screen, it's like, oh, okay, this looks like a space flight sim. Yeah, but the cool part about it is that it's using the Oculus Rift, so all I can say about it is, okay, it looks like a decent space flight sim, and I assume if you were actually inside that cockpit, it would look pretty cool. So.
Yeah, all I want it for is to play Elite Dangerous, so I understand where they're coming from.
Yeah, then there is a game called Chronos, which is an RPG from ex-Vigil staff members. Vigil were the makers of Darksiders.
I'm excited about this game. I heard there's a crazy gimmick in this game where.
What is it?
It's a game about time, obviously, as the name
you don't
suggests. But as your character ages, you have to approach the dungeon differently. So like when you're young, you're nimble, fast. You can kind of just move, head into any challenge. When you're middle-aged, you're older, a little bit more experienced, and then when you're an old man, you're fragile and weak. So you have to sort of rely on magic and the knowledge that you gathered as you've been playing through the game.
That's
kind of
cool.
Yeah,
it's kind of neat.
And there's a game called Lucky's Tale, which looks like a childish 3D platformer that I have nothing else to say about.
They're going to put children in this thing?
I guess. I can't imagine what adult would want to play this game about a little cartoon duck when, I don't know.
Does the duck kill?
It didn't look like it. It looked like it jumped.
From what I understand, people have played that already, and they said it's insane how well it works.
Well, maybe it's just a tech demo. It could be.
No, they have. It is an actual game.
Well, that then got released as a game.
Okay,
But that's
I
about
can
as much
accept that.
You know, it happens. I think sometimes, maybe, sometimes.
Yeah, it
maybe.
does. It does.
Okay. So, anyways, that's Oculus Rift talk. That was good. I think that we covered a lot of ground on it. And the Oculus Rift is, I think we're all pretty excited about it. I'm going to probably get one, more or less as soon as I can.
I'm excited about it. Obviously you need a pretty beefy PC to run the thing, so
Yeah,
that's
everyone's
my
got
first
to
step
upgrade.
is to upgrade my PC and then get the actual device itself.
Well, you know what's funny is I think it just rounds out that by the time you need to upgrade your PC, it would be about it's still you still get a couple more years out of an upgrade of your PC than you do out of an upgrade of your console, and it costs you less overall to upgrade your PC. So it balances out for me. But let's move on to the next presser.
Okay.
And because we have a lot to cover. Let's say okay. I have to keep this show hovering at around an hour, and then change maybe because I can't turn on the air conditioning when I record the show, and it's boiling hot in here. So let's pick 3 pressers that we're really interested in.
Really? Because that's only going to give us Microsoft, Sony, and Nintendo. We're not going to be able to talk about any of the third parties then.
I'm not really interested in Nintendo's presser at all. I don't.
Really? Because that's probably the one I'm most interested in.
Really?
Oh, we have a rivalry there, so we have to talk about it now. So Nintendo is definitely in. Why don't we do the third-party ones as a second show, maybe? A follow-up show? Because Bethesda's first, it's true.
Yeah, it's just, if we don't talk about it tonight, it's just, there's no other time to do it.
You're right.
It is coming right up.
Well, why don't we do the 3 and we'll do Bethesda?
Yeah, because I can't handle the heat, bro. I mean, I got a family. That's the problem. Once I move into we're considering other places nearby. So once we move into a place where I can get a little studio going, maybe I can turn off the AC in there. But right now, this is like the AC for the whole house is off, and I'm literally sweating buckets over here. I've got a migraine cooling pad on my head to make me feel like I'm cold, but I know that I'm not. And so I vote, and as the ship's captain, I say we do Microsoft, Sony, Nintendo, and Bethesda.
Okay.
So let's do that in order, starting with Bethesda. We were going to do this with a little bit of structure. I think that still sounds like a lot of fun. Colin, you're going to have 2 minutes to talk a little bit about Fallout, pretty much.
It's also Doom is confirmed to be there.
Fallout and the new Doom, which is called, you guessed it, Doom. So, 2 minutes, go.
Alright, so Fallout 4 is based in Boston. I think living here, that's awesome. I'm going to start out with that. I remember playing Fallout 1 with my friends, and I loved that game. I remember playing Fallout 3, and I can't wait for the sequel. I think they keep getting better and better, and they're a solid game each time.
Nice and tight. I like it. We're just going to keep moving. Mike.
Yeah. I am very excited for Fallout 4. One thing I'm hoping they do is sort of take that the giant gap that they had from Oblivion to Skyrim and do that with Fallout 3 to Fallout 4. I think that system needs an overhaul. I don't think it needs to go away, but I'm not sure I would play another game with VATS exactly the same way. I'd like to see them do some interesting things with that. Overall, I'm excited. It looks like we might be able to play some pre-war moments, as the main character suggested that he is from the before the apocalypse happens, and it looks like we'll have some more pets too. If you guys watch that trailer, they have dog meat in it. So, yeah, very excited, but hoping that they overhaul some things.
Seth.
Well, as I think you and I discussed last week, I'm not a big Bethesda Game Studios fan. I have never played a single one of their RPGs through to completion. So,
well, neither have I, and I still really like them. But go on.
Okay, I have not enjoyed any one of their RPGs.
Oh well,
despite having played every single one of them. So, I guess the Fallout stuff is the stuff I'm least interested in at the Bethesda press conference.
So what's interesting you? Anything at all?
Hopefully Dishonored 2 will be there.
Okay, cool. Anything else?
I'm interested to see what Doom looks like. I enjoyed all the other Doom games more or less, so I'm excited about that. And I guess I'm excited to see if they have more than Doom and Fallout and Dishonored 2 and Battleborn, because that's all they have announced right now. Not Battleborn, Battlecry. I think it's Battlecry. But those are the only 4 games I'm pretty sure they have announced right now, and I feel that for an hour-long press conference, that is not very much.
Well, we'll have to see. My short take on Bethesda is the Fallout 4 announcement was, by now, people kind of expected it, and we really wanted it, so it's good to finally have it. The trailer was not... It looked really good, and the new engine looks fantastic. Mike, Colin, I totally agree with you on the things that need to be overhauled. Colin, I don't think VATS is going to ever go away, because that would be getting rid of one of the essential Fallout-y things about Fallout, and that is that it was originally a turn-based RPG. I'm aware that they're trying to, make a new path, and they've cryptically said, make sure you have a second controller, which seems to imply some kind of co-op that's going to happen in the Fallout universe, which will be a first for Fallout in general. So I'm interested in the new aspects of the Fallout universe that are going to come out of Fallout 4. Mostly, if how they're going to pull off co-op, because I just don't see couch co-op happening, and how they're going to, like you guys said, update VATS, update the game to make it feel like a jump between Oblivion and Skyrim, which was a jump, a big jump. For better or worse, it was a big jump.
I mean, I would say the biggest jump for Bethesda was between Daggerfall and Morrowind.
I didn't play Daggerfall Arena, so I wouldn't know. But yes,
Daggerfall was barely playable. Morrowind was probably the most I've ever enjoyed a Bethesda game. It was like night and day difference.
Well, I've never really had strong emotions for Bethesda, and guys, this is sort of the open chat for Bethesda, so feel free to chip in. Like, I didn't like Dishonored much at all.
I love Dishonored. That's honestly one of my top probably 10 games of last generation.
She was, I don't know. There's something about it just didn't quite click for me, and I like that they have ID Software under their wing, because then that means Doom is going to be. I understand the trend of just naming the game without the number,
right?
But I kind of wish that it had like a sub name or like a number, just something to give it a little bit of legacy.
I think they're implying that it is a complete reboot of the series.
I think
but
you're
on
right,
the same
too.
token, I kind of feel that Doom 3 was that as well. So.
What about Colin, Mike? Do you guys have fond memories of the Doom series?
Not really, no.
No?
They were PC only, correct?
Yes, until the original Xbox, and then
I never had a PC to play them. I did play Doom 3 and enjoyed that on the Xbox.
Okay, I have a special relationship with the Doom series. A shareware version of Doom was mailed to my house, and it was on a 3.5-inch floppy.
Wow.
Yeah, and it was mailed to me with no return address, and my parents were like, oh, whatever, and it was just disc 1 of Doom, and I put it in, and it was just the first campaign, The Shores of Hell.
Okay.
And that was one of my first exposures to first-person shooters in general, was the 3.5-inch floppy Windows 95 version of Doom, and I had an absolute blast playing that game. Oh my god! So I'm actually happy to see that they're going back and doing the series again. Honestly, I thought that Doom 3 was supposed to be the big reboot for the series, like doing it all over again, kind of Escape from Mars,
Yeah. Well, I think it probably was, but it was not super well received. So.
Yeah, they did have to do a number of updates to it, and then ultimately its PC port and later re-releases were much better than the original, but.
Well, it didn't feel like Doom, and it also ended up not working super well as a shooter. It was more of a survival horror thing, and not even an especially great one at that.
Colin, Calvin is here, and he's doing video, but we're not doing video.
I was wondering about that, because it said join video call, and I just wasn't sure. So
Yeah,
I'm like
mute that
scrambling
video.
around trying to get myself set up with good lighting and everything. I just wasn't sure.
No, now you can hit the button and just mute the video, and you'll save the bandwidth, and you'll sound better. And we're all just chatting it up about E3. Welcome. Well, this is
All right, well, hang on one second. Which button is this that I hit? Because
So
I'm
you-
on my.
Oh, you hover over the Hangout there, and you go up to mute camera, and there should be a little next to the invite. There you are. There's
I
your
just did
face
it.
now. Excellent. Now we all see your nose.
Yes.
That's great. So this is
How does it look?
It looks fantastic. Very clean. This is my friend
Good.
Calvin Polhammer.
Hey,
You've
guys.
met him before, I think, but he is another contributor to Ludus Press, and he's going to join us for a little chit chat. Colin, we're just talking about Bethesda. What are Colin? I keep calling you Colin. Calvin. Too many C names here. Ugh.
That's okay. You can call me you can call me Snake.
Okay. Now I got to talk like the commander. Okay, Calvin. Can you tell me your opinion of Bethesda?
That was really good.
It was really good.
Oh, I've got some great Metal Gear Solid impersonations up my sleeve, guys. Just
Here.
you wait.
Okay, wait. Ask me that question again.
Okay, Calvin, could you tell me a little bit more about Bethesda?
Bethesda. Because that's what Snake would say. That's exactly how he would
what he would
respond.
say.
Calvin,
Yeah.
I just
Right.
wanted to let you know that we're best friends now. So
That's right. Bethesda.
I don't have time for friends.
Oh boy. So, anyways, yeah, we're going down the line here. We first talked about Oculus, but since you came in late, you don't get to talk about Oculus. So you're going to talk
fine.
about Bethesda first. What are your opinions of them as a company in general, and talk about a little Fallout and a little Doom, some of the stuff coming up for E3.
You know what? My opinions of Bethesda are somewhat apathetic, with a hint of, I don't know. I really don't know. I don't have anything else to add to that. I'm trying to think of another adjective, but I can't quite come up with it at the moment.
How about nutmeg?
What do you
nutmeg
think
is delicious.
Bethesda Game Studios RPGs.
Yes.
Okay, that I can say. You know, I'm not actually a big fan. And maybe I'm unfairly not a big fan, because I tried. To be fair, I have not played very many of them. The only one that I've ever tried playing was Oblivion.
Okay.
And
That's okay.
And I gotta say, I didn't actually like it. I think there was a lot of there was a lot of chest pounding about it, and a lot of hype going into it, and everybody that I knew in college at the time was raving about this game, and it was so good and everything. But I did not. It didn't. It didn't really scramble my eggs. I gotta say, and the reason being that I just felt like I don't know. I felt like there was a little too much to do, because the thing about those kinds of games, the thing about like Oblivion in particular, is that you can basically play it however you want and do whatever you want with it.
Right.
And Joe, I remembered a short video that you did a while back about your experience with Oblivion, and how you weren't really getting much out of it. And then John Gosling asked you if you were min-maxing. Do you remember this?
I do.
Yeah. And
I wasn't.
and that was the problem I had. I don't like min-maxing. I really like having a versatile set of abilities and equipment when I'm playing a game, so that I can approach any situation and just take care of it with the tool set that I have at hand.
Nice. This is where I would segue into a conversation about The Witcher, but go on.
Yeah, and so I only played Oblivion for a few hours, and I don't know, it didn't really grab me. I brought it back. I tried it because I was like, well, maybe I'll give this a shot because everybody said it was so great. And it was the Game of the Year edition as well, so it came with all of the extra DLC and missions and whatnot, but I just brought it back.
Any love for the Fallout series?
Not really familiar with it, but what I've seen, again, hasn't really grabbed me all that much. And the problem is that the parts of it that I've seen being played by my friends when I go to their houses for parties or whatever is it seems a little bit more I don't know, a little bit more tactical than I want a first-person shooter to be. But selecting the parts of the body that you want to shoot and what kind of ammo that you want to use for it.
It's more, I would say it's an RPG, and it just happens to be guns you're using, not swords.
Right. Yeah. And I think that was the thing that kind of I was unclear about that in the beginning, because the friend of mine who had recommended it to me, Fallout 3, at the first in the beginning, was a huge fan of action games and first-person shooters and everything. And so I thought, well, if he likes it, if he likes Fallout 3, then maybe it's it could be a fun shooter. But I was expecting something a little bit too much like Borderlands, I think.
Gotcha.
I gotcha.
And I didn't really I didn't go into it with the right mindset. So suffice it to say, my opinion of Bethesda is admittedly very unfair, but I'm just not, I'm just kind of lukewarm on them.
Okay, what about...
I will say, sorry, just one more quick thing. I will say that I do really like the things they do in terms of their structure and their business model, because they do support their games very well long after launch with a lot of extra content to throw in there. And I understand and I can appreciate the level of care and dedication that they put into crafting their experiences. I will give them that. They're
Excellent.
just not really for me.
So what about they own ID Software, makers of Doom, and there's going to be a new Doom at their press conference. What do you think? Doom fan? Yes? No?
Old school Doom fan. I haven't really been up on my Doom since the first one really. I haven't played Doom 3 or seen anything about any new Doom games, but I'll reserve judgment until we see more. I don't like to make predictions like this, usually just because everybody's always making predictions, and mine usually wind up being the wrong one anyway. So.
Can I jump in real quick?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
I want to say the thing about the most recent Fallout games is I just really love how it takes itself so unseriously. Like, there's mutants and stuff running around, but there's that happy little guy that's like, oh, all right, I just love the humor in it. Like, it creates a good paradigm in the game.
There's the sort of general attitude, smile, it's the end of the world. Like,
Yeah.
that's you could sum it all up with that exact sentence.
Yeah,
And-
that's it.
Well, go on.
It's a really good juxtaposition. I feel like that's a unique character that game offers that really
That's
no
one
other
thing-
post-apocalyptic game does.
That's one thing that they did really wisely by creating an alternate history United States and having the 1950s roughly be the 60s be the time that the event happens. That way you've got an idyllic society that it collapses upon itself. It's like the perfect post-war huge boom. The only other possibility was complete nuclear destruction. And I love that it goes from the idyllic society to post-apocalypse, because then the ruins are all idyllic. All the Mr. Cleaner robots, all the handymans are going around trying to clean stuff that's not there and help people who are dead. And they've been doing it for decades. Yeah, and it's such a richness. I will say this: my favorite Fallout is Fallout New Vegas, and I've played, and not beaten, but I've played Fallout 1, 2, 3, and New Vegas, and I gotta say New Vegas has been my favorite experience so far in a Fallout game. Something about the story, the setting, and the Obsidian just knocked it out of the park again with their versatility, and it is. If you have been wishy-washy or you don't really like, if you can get it cheap, try it out. It's really a rich story experience. And I am one who doesn't usually give a crap about story in games, but my little path that I've carved through New Vegas has been very much personal, very much my own. And I love when games make me feel like I've really done something on my own. So that's my love for the Fallout series. But let's move on. Let's bounce off Bethesda and go to Microsoft next in the list. So, Seth, why don't you?
Never heard of them.
Yeah, wait. They're a plucky little startup that's out of Seattle, and they've just put together their first consumer product. So, anyways,
I don't know. They sound like a bunch of hipsters to me.
We do, Calvin. We're basically taking just a couple of seconds or maybe a minute to sum up our feelings about the company as a whole and kind of talk about what we think they're going to bring to the table. So we kind of have a short little. I'll put you on the spot and give you a little bit of time to talk about just a brief spurt of idea.
Oh wow! Okay, yeah, I've had no prep time for this whatsoever.
I know. I will start though, so that you have a little prep time. And we'll come to you later, okay?
Okay, sounds good.
That way I'll give you a little bit of time. So, Microsoft going into this conference, Mike brought up a great point in that they don't have to touch VR, and I hope that they do show some stuff about the Rift, though. I hope that they tie into the Rift in their press conference and make that one of their bullet points. That would be really key to showing a lot of cooperation across company lines and fostering a lot of consumer confidence in Microsoft's ability to keep their gaming division afloat. So I'm really interested in seeing basically anything from them, because for a little while I thought they were going to just get rid of the Xbox division. I thought they were going to try to sell it off, but it seems like with the Rift integration and they're just kind of floating on the field as the field keeps moving forward. And I'm interested to see what Microsoft does. So that's all I've got for Microsoft. Seth, why don't you take it next?
Okay. I loved the format of the Microsoft press conference last year. And for those that don't remember, it was just like 10 or 15 gameplay demonstrations and trailers in a row. No talking, no executive pandering, just straight up trailer to trailer to trailer, no even developers paraded out on stage. It was just, here, we're going to show you gameplay for 2 hours. And actually an hour and a half, and then a half-hour CG trailers. And I love that format, so I really, really hope, regardless of what they show, that they stick with that format, because I thought it really worked for them. As far as the actual games themselves, I guess the thing I'm most interested in is seeing some gameplay of Scalebound, hopefully.
I totally forgot Scalebound was going to be at their conference.
It has not been confirmed, but I have to imagine it will be at their conference.
So excited.
Okay. I would have been excited to see Phantom Dust gameplay, but the studio that made it, they pulled it from them or something and just had it like rebooted or something. So now that's probably not going to be there. Joe's just like super sad that Phantom Dust is not going to be there.
Yeah, I am. We're gonna move on to Mike now. Mike, give us some Microsoft talk.
I think I agree with Seth. The format of last year's show was brilliant. I'm a Phil Spencer fan, and I think ever since he's headed up Microsoft, he's done some really smart things. He touts all the time that he is a gamer and he understands not only games but gamers and understands what they want. So him heading up Microsoft instills a lot of faith in me. I wouldn't be surprised if they talk about Minecraft stuff. I don't exactly know what they're gonna do, but I'm sure they'll talk about Minecraft. I'm guessing a lot of the press conference is going to be the trailers that we saw last year in gameplay format. Rise of the Tomb Raider, Scalebound, Crackdown 3. We're going to see hopefully what Black Tusk is working on, the Gears of War remake. We're going to see all that stuff there. So.
Yeah. All right.
They have renamed that studio, by the way.
Black Tusk?
Yes, it is no longer called Black Tusk. I don't remember what they renamed it to, but they did rename it.
Oh.
Next up would be Colin. If you're available, you want to chit-chat a little bit about what Microsoft's up to?
Well, I work with Microsoft on a daily basis in my life as a tech support guy. I think the only thing that I would like to talk about is the big movement to Windows 10. I know I have my little Windows icon on the bottom right of my taskbar asking for my input on my free copy, and I'm wondering if any of you guys would chime in about whether or not you're going to upgrade as soon as possible, or you're going to hold off and wait till they see if it's more stable than than in the past what Microsoft has done. But I heard there's a lot of gaming features built into Windows 10, and the idea of spreading it amongst every single device. I mean, any device could run Windows 10, and it's going to be continually updated from here is interesting. I mean, I'm pretty open, and I think it's a step in the right direction. Whether Microsoft can pull it off or not is to be told, but that's my 2 cents in the matter.
Awesome, thanks, man, Colin. That was awesome, and I just called Calvin Colin again. So, Calvin, you feel free to like every time I do it, I'll put a quarter in the fucking bucket. So, go on.
Hey, I went to elementary school with a kid named Colin, so it wouldn't be the first time that
all right, Colin,
our names
go
have
ahead.
been.
I'm glad we're already acquainted.
All right, so here's what I think about Microsoft. Well, first of all, Colin, to go on your point, yeah, I think I would like to chime in and say that I don't know if I'm quite as keen to upgrade to Windows 10 just yet. And the reason being that, with the exception of Windows 7, a lot of their OS, the new OSs they've come out with, haven't really worked out all that well for me. When I was forced to kind of upgrade to a Windows 8 computer, I was really, really mad about it because I don't like Windows 8 at all. And I've had to do a lot of kind of like tooling around to get it to work the way I want. So if they fixed all of those problems with Windows 10, then I'll probably jump on board, and especially if there's a lot more to do with video game integration into it. Then yeah, I think I would probably not be opposed. I hope they learned some of their lessons anyway.
I have pushed the button.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, I signed up.
Yeah, I signed up the minute that button occurred because they have done some absolutely astounding things with DirectX 12 that is going to make gaming so much better on Windows 10.
That's what I've heard too. There's a lot of early hype about how Windows is going to be very gaming friendly, and just as Colin touched on, Colin Alpha, Colin Prime.
One thing, we were talking about the Oculus Rift and the issues with input delay. Windows 10 is being built with specific code integration that will allow VR games to update very quickly.
Marvelous.
So that's one thing. They also have massively improved the performance of their draw calls in DirectX 12, which is going to be game changing. It's actually going to be more game changing for the Xbox One when they update that to Windows 10.
Oh.
What early results are saying is that an identical graphics card playing an identical game without any additional DirectX 12 optimization was already getting over double the performance.
Marvelous.
Simply by, and mind you, it's not a DirectX 12 game. Just putting DirectX 12 on the machine doubled the performance of certain games. And that's just with the beta drivers that are occurring right now. And specifically draw call related, they were saying that AMD's draw calls were up over 2,000% or something.
Oh, that's really exciting.
It's unheard of for software to provide a 2,000% increase. That's 20 times.
So Microsoft has actually got some pretty interesting infrastructure stuff going for them. We're kind of geeking out over some really stupid shit here.
The reason that I am so excited about this is because of how bad console performance has been up to this point this generation, and it is all down to DirectX 11.
Yeah, everyone's going all in on PC now, too. PC gaming is more popular than it has ever been.
Yeah.
And these Steam boxes are evidence that the next generation of consoles are just going to be PCs.
They are PCs right now.
I know
Xbox
they are
One
PCs.
is a Windows 8 machine that has a slightly dumbed down interface.
Yeah, exactly. So it'll be interesting to see how many more people get aboard the bandwagon of getting your PC up to spec and really enjoying some of the massive library of PC games available.
Yeah.
So that's our Microsoft talk.
Let me ask you this: do you guys think that now with this new prowess that Microsoft is going to be flexing, are we finally going to get high-res textures for Minecraft?
Yes, I think we will finally get realistic grass and.
Oh, okay.
No,
Yeah,
because
great.
I think the entire point of Minecraft is to look
the
like
way it
that.
looks. Yeah.
Yeah. I think there are other games that are similar to Minecraft that you can get. There's one mining game that uses like CryEngine. So if you really want a really pretty looking version of Minecraft, there are options for you. But I think
also, I think Space Engineers has carving out asteroids without volumetrics, like it's all sort of realistic carving. So there's some realistic stuff out there. There's definitely games that let you mess with stuff in a realistic way. That
realistic carving.
I can't wait for what I call the Castaway Simulator. It's a game coming out that's going to have Oculus Rift support. It's called Stranded Deep.
Stranded Deep.
Featuring Tom Hanks.
I want the Adrift PS4 game to not be an exclusive. Have you guys seen an image of this game yet?
I have. I saw the trailer that showed, what was it at their
It has a really
PlayStation fan
unfortunate
thing at the
name.
end of last year?
Yeah, it has a really, really stupid name.
Yeah.
It's stupidly spelled, ADR1FT, gag me with a spoon kind of spelling.
Well, that just leaves it open for a sequel, Joe.
What would the sequel be called? Adrituft? I'm not seeing it.
Aloof.
Stop. You sound like you're trying to throw up. Anyways, so this is Stranded Deep, but in space. That's all I want. I want to be on a destroyed space station and having to survive in space. That's the only game I don't have yet, and now it's a PS4 exclusive, so that can go straight to hell. So I'm now done talking about Microsoft in any iterations of Stranded Deep or Adrift because I'm just going to get upset. Moving on, I want to touch on the next one.
Can I ask everyone before we move on quickly if there's any
Go ahead.
game that has not been announced that you guys would be interested in hearing about, or is there a game that's been announced? I know I mentioned Scalebound. No one else mentioned any of Microsoft's games that they're excited about seeing. So is there any announced or unannounced games you guys want to see if you want to go one by one?
I will speak for Erica. We want to see some Mass Effect stuff. We want to see the next Mass Effect project teased. Anything. Give me a 10-second video of Shepard's, nuts. As long as it says Mass Effect 4 at the end, I'll be happy.
And you think that would be at Microsoft or at EA?
Ooh, EA has their own press conference.
That would definitely be at EA.
Yeah, be at EA, so it's going to be cross-platform.
I think at least one previous Mass Effect, either 2 or 3, was debuted at Microsoft, so I think it's definitely
GTA 5 was debuted at Microsoft.
Yeah. I mean, Microsoft does not have a large internal development group, so a lot of their press conferences is made up of third-party stuff, so it is entirely possible.
I'm only interested in Scalebound. That's the only exclusive left for the one that I've got. That's it. So that's my game.
Colin or Calvin?
Oh man, I'm racking my brain trying to think of what I could possibly be interested in because I don't have an Xbox One myself. And like Joe said, they're not, or like everybody said, really, they're not really doing much as far as their own internal development or even exclusives anymore. I don't know. I mean, wouldn't it be funny though if like Microsoft just kind of blew everybody away? I guess this is my like outrageous E3 prediction, and said, "Hey guys, guess what? You remember The Last Guardian? Well, we actually snagged it, and it's definitely going to be coming out on an Xbox console. No more of this wishy-washy meandering around. Oh well, we might do it. Oh well, we might need to make it for the next generation, and this and that. No, definitely, we got it. You're getting it."
You see, Nintendo would pull that kind of thing, I think.
Yeah, you're definitely right about that. With the Bayonetta exclusive and everything.
Yeah, Microsoft may, but I think Nintendo pulled that once with Bayonetta, and I think it paid them back. I don't know. Bayonetta 2 was very good. It was a wonderful game on the Wii U, and it's probably the best action game available on the Wii U besides like the port of the Arkham games, which are ports and not exclusives. So, yeah, Scalebound, and they're really not putting too much into internal development.
Are you a Halo or Gears or Forza fan? Anyone?
I played lots of Halo in college with my friend. I enjoyed it. He was severely competitive.
We have a bunch of people who do not give a shit about Microsoft here, right?
No way.
You know what?
I love Halo.
I've played every Halo. I love them all, but I just don't. Halo 5, you could be like, Halo 5's coming out. I'd be like, great.
I like Red versus Blue. Does that count?
Kinda.
I'm not a super Microsoft game-based fan.
Okay.
As Halo fans, we sort of know what to expect when it comes to Halo.
Right.
So
Yeah, I
it's
mean,
like,
what could they really do different at this point?
Now, here's three words that we can all expect that is 100% true. More Fable shit.
I was never a fan of Fable. Bah.
There's a Fable game announced. It's coming out this year.
No, we're gonna see videos of it. Is what I'm saying.
We saw videos of it last year.
No, they're gonna show more.
I don't want to see any more. I've seen enough.
That's my point. That's why I said more Fable shit, not a brand new exciting announcement from Peter Molyneux.
Peter Molyneux doesn't work for Microsoft anymore.
That's exactly my point.
Yeah, he's not at Lionhead.
Anyways,
He's
more Fable shit.
counting cans. Is it too late to still wait and keep my fingers crossed for the Milo game for Kinect?
Yes.
Yeah, it's gone.
yeah, I think that technology went into the what's the animal game?
And the other game that never came out.
Yeah, Connectimals. They put that technology into that, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I want to do it with a boy. I mean, wait, let me rephrase that.
That was perfectly phrased. What about that, guys? Do you remember that game that came out on the original Xbox, Nude? Does anybody remember that title?
No.
You don't?
No, I don't actually.
Let me Google this.
I gotta see it.
Xbox
Nude Xbox game. Natural Ultimate Digital Experiment was the name of the game. Nude. It was a real thing, and you could buy it on the Xbox. Let me see. Yep. It was like a virtual girlfriend, essentially.
You've got to be kidding me. I'm looking at this myself.
Let me share the picture here of the nude box art. This is the nude box art. You can see here the Japanese text, if you can read it. But,
oh my gosh. For the listeners, Google, maybe don't Google nude. Google
Don't Google
Natural
nude.
Ultimate
Google
Digital
nude.
Experiment. This thing is so bizarre. For some reason, Seaman came up in the image results.
It is similar to that. It is a virtual pet game, but the pet is a robot girl. And it came out on American shores. I kid you not, it did.
It says only out in Japan.
I thought it came out here. I swear to God it did.
It says right on this page.
Damn, I'm a
Never
stupid.
released outside of Japan.
And how did I see it here? I must have just read about it. But anyways, it existed. That's even worse.
Despite
Oh
the
my
intentionally
gosh.
misleading title, there's no nudity in this game.
Yes, that's the best part about it.
Okay, so what are we thinking? Maybe a sequel to Nude finally this year?
Yes.
What I've been waiting.
The VR technology.
The sequel we've all been waiting for.
Hey, you know what? Can I? All right, brief sort of sidetrack here, right? You know, we all talk about virtual reality, this and that, and Oculus, right? But what is the driving force behind all technology advancements? Sex and pornography. Yeah, right?
Across the internet.
We would not
That's
be
our goal.
podcasting right now. We could not do video podcasts if it weren't for people wanting to see live streamed naked people.
That's very true. That's very true. And we have Microsoft's press conference to thank for that.
Yeah.
That's where this conversation has gone. Live sex, fellas, across the internet. People are doing it.
Oh my goodness.
You know, it's as sad as it is. He's absolutely right, though. Like, if Oculus takes off, it is going to be because of porn.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's what saved the DVD, and that's what made the Blu-ray kill the HD DVD.
Yeah,
It's
VHS over Betamax.
Yep, I was about to say. Do you know how important it was to Sony when they did Blu-ray to get the porn industry on board because they learned their lesson after not doing it for Betamax?
Yep. And then Samsung was like, "We're not doing porn." So Sony said, "See ya." And then Seabiscuit pulled ahead, and that was the end of the movie. Because Seabiscuit passes the horses and wins the race. Like, that's the end of the movie.
I get it. Yeah.
It was an obscure enough reference. Anyways,
oh my gosh.
What
were we talking
timely,
about?
Joe. It's very timely.
We need to move on to Seabiscuit is timeless. We need to.
Well, I was more referring to the fact that horse just won the Triple Crown like 2 days ago or whatever for the first time in a century.
Yeah, that's
Misspelled Pharaoh?
Yes, Misspelled Pharaoh won it. But Seabiscuit is a much cooler horse than whatever that horse's name was, because I can remember his name. We should move on to the next press conference. It's boiling in this house.
Sorry.
Yeah, it's getting really steamy.
Let's go. Where are we going?
Sony is next.
Sony is next. So, 2 minutes to talk about Sony. Would anybody like to take the torch, be put into the grill first for a Sony talk?
Sure, I will.
Hit it.
Give us a start. First, let me say they today showed off a trailer for a new Ratchet & Clank game.
Woo!
It is a reimagining of the original story as it is told in the movie version.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Ooh.
But they have been very clear to say it is not based on the movie. It is just using that version of the story.
So what? It's a remake of the original Ratchet & Clank. Who cares?
It isn't a remake. It's It is
a reboot.
Telling the same story, but with all new gameplay and levels.
Okay, so it's kind of like the Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood of Full Metal Alchemist.
Sure.
Okay, anime fans know what I'm talking about. Moving on.
It actually looks really good.
Okay.
So I'm excited for that. I'm interested to see what they are going to be doing with that. I really love the Ratchet & Clank series.
Groovy.
I am a huge fan of Ratchet & Clank.
Yeah.
I am.
Jack and Daxter can burn in hell.
Oh, God. How dare you, sir?
No. There's room for both.
Oh,
There's room for both in this town.
I see. A bunch of spineless Nancys in this room.
I would like to interrupt this for an important news bulletin.
Yes?
Shadow Warrior 2 has just been revealed.
Intriguing.
I have another...
The remake of the first one was really fun.
I have another quick bulletin as well.
Okay, let's hear it.
I just heard Scalebound and Crackdown 3 will be skipping E3 this year.
God damn it.
They're gonna all of our interest in the Microsoft press conference, like, literally just drained. The two games I wanted to see there, gone.
Punched right in the solar plexus. Now all I can talk about is boring nerd shit.
Okay, well, that's super sad. The other thing Sony didn't announce, but the Hellblade from the developers of DMC and Enslaved got a new trailer today, and it's going to be at E3, assumedly at the Sony press conference. They have said that the game is a metaphor for discussing psychosis and schizophrenia.
Yeah, through the eyes of a Viking warrior woman.
Yes.
It's going to be exciting. I love Ninja Theory's games. I think
Ninja Theory is great. Yeah.
Everything they touch has turned to gold, quite literally. They are so far a no-miss company as far as their major releases have gone. There's nothing to not like about this. And the fact it's a PS4 exclusive. Is it exclusive? Probably.
It is coming to PC eventually as well.
Well then, I have nothing to fear. We can move on.
Yeah, so those are the two games that I believe we have seen information about at this point. The other games they have announced, we've got Uncharted 4 coming, as well as the Uncharted Trilogy Remaster.
Ugh.
And There is that horror slasher game thing that I don't remember the name of.
Okay.
Until Dawn.
Thank you. Until Dawn is coming, and
That
what
could have
else
been
did they-
anything, though.
Yeah, that's true.
They probably have a new Gran Turismo coming out, right?
Yeah, probably.
Well, now wait a
Uh-oh.
minute. Is it coming out, or is it going to be announced and it'll come out in 10 years?
Yeah,
Probably.
the second one.
Well,
Probably,
speaking of the PlayStation, I don't know who publishes it, but what I remember, Joe, you showing me something about Silent Hill and how immersive it is.
Yes.
What happened to the development of that?
Let's talk about how that went up in freaking smoke. So, Konami was going to be developing that with their main man Hideo Kojima and Guillermo del Toro and Norman Reedus, and it was going to be the best game ever. So then Konami said, you know what? Let's put a bullet in this whole idea. And for some reason, and it's not really been gone into too much, but Hideo Kojima was essentially let go from Konami, and the project was then canceled as a result. They promised that.
My understanding is they have essentially stopped console game development entirely,
Now,
and Metal Gear Solid 5 is going to be their final console game.
that is,
Yeah.
I've heard a counter report, just one, that where a executive followed that up, saying we were a little too short in our explanation. We are still going to be making games that are not just like mobile free to play, but we're starting to focus a lot more energy into this market, which is the mobile and free to play market, with our stuff. So I don't know. Konami just took a big step back, basically, Colin, and when they let go of Kojima, they ended up losing a lot of faith in their consumer base. Or excuse me, vice versa. Their consumer base lost a lot of faith in them.
Right, they lost a lot of goodwill.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah,
and
a ton.
So Kojima's gone. We can presume to see him either on Kickstarter, pushing to beat Iga's current record-breaking Kickstarter, or we can expect to see him starting his own studio and then getting on Kickstarter after that and going to push Iga's record-breaking Kickstarter.
I honestly, I highly doubt Kojima's going to Kickstarter, as I said before. But
I think you're
I
right,
don't think the games he likes to make are doable on a Kickstarter budget.
No.
So real quick, what company do you want to pick up Kojima?
I think any company would be glad to have him. I wouldn't be surprised if it was Sony, because he has worked very closely with Sony over his career.
If he went to Nintendo, do you know how much they would pull in just on people of loyalty?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I was
that would be
thinking
pretty
exactly
great
the
as well.
same thing.
Started to dedicate. So far, the Snake Eater port to the 3DS is the closest we've gotten to a Metal Gear Solid off since the S on the one on the NES. So.
Twin Snakes.
Well, no, it's Twin
on
Snakes.
the GameCube, which is the best game
GameCube.
ever. How did I forget about it? But that was the last good one, at least. So
Yeah.
I would love to see him dedicate a development to a 3DS or to the Wii U and just make an exclusive. I mean, that would be such a great business move for Nintendo. They should really just send him a check with nothing in the money section that says to Mr. Kojima, like, make a game for just us, please.
Do you remember what happened the last time they did that, though? Do you remember what came out on the GameCube?
Wait, don't tell me. Make a game for just us, please. What?
It was a little game that had a solar sensor in it called, I think it was Boktai.
Oh,
Yes, I do remember that game. That was pretty awesome.
That was a great game, and the developer of that game is awesome.
Well, was it a commercial success, though? Do you think
Not
we-
really.
I can't tell you.
It
They made a
did
sequel.
have a sequel, and then it had a spiritual
okay.
successor. So it kind
Fair
of
enough.
did. I think that would pay off for Nintendo in the end. Is doing that.
So, no.
Back to Sony.
Let me just go back to Microsoft for 1 second. So they're saying they're holding back Crackdown, Scalebound, and Quantum Break. Is that what the other one's called? The Remedy one.
Oh yeah, I saw that one. Yeah.
All three of those games are being held back for Gamescom.
Oh yeah, in Germany.
Yes, that has to be one of the most ridiculous things I've ever heard.
Wow. Yeah. Talk about pandering to the international market a little bit.
So I would like to talk about Sony next,
Please.
because I think I have there's one big thing that we need to see, and it's something that Sony has been lacking since the PS4 came out, and that's exclusives, right?
Mhm.
We need to see we need to see those exclusives, or else it'll be the worst. It'll be the worst showing at E3 ever, I think.
Yeah, they've already dropped the mic, and they don't really have anything else to drop it with.
Yeah, it's now or never when it comes to Sony. I'm sure we're gonna get an Uncharted 4 release date.
Right.
I think rumored Dark Souls 3 is going to be announced there. So that'll
That's
be
a
interesting.
moneymaker.
Yeah, I'm sure they're going to show their indie game show reel, which is something that I enjoy very much. I like that Sony actually includes indie games in their press conference and has developers come out and talk about their game.
I'm on the fence about that, but it's whatever.
I don't think that they give them nearly enough time, but I'm sure they'll have plenty of time during the PC conference.
Go on.
There's going to be I think there's going to be a big push for Morpheus during the press conference as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
And my bold prediction, like it sort of speaks to what Calvin said for Microsoft. Last Guardian. It's again.
It's coming out.
It has to. It's now. They've talked about it for how long? It's
Q4 2017.
It has to. It has to show. It has to.
Well, all joking aside, though, I mean, I was partially joking about the Microsoft thing, but I did hear through the grapevine that it is rumored that The Last Guardian will be making an appearance at this year's E3.
And so will Mega Man Legends too. So keep your eyes open.
The thing I'm really hoping for, though, during Sony's press conference is more gameplay from No Man's Sky.
Yes, that would be nice. That would be a system. That would be a damn near a system and a VR headset seller to me. If they can pull it off.
There are a couple of Sony studios that we have not seen anything from this generation, including Media Molecule.
I was going to say, no Little Big Planet.
Well, there was a Little Big Planet last year. It came out, but
yeah.
it was not made by Media Molecule. But Media Molecule seems like the type of studio that would work really well in the Morpheus, so I have to imagine that we'll be seeing something from them.
Yeah.
Guerrilla Games has been working on an RPG involving dinosaurs.
What?
Okay.
I'm sold.
Hey, dinosaurs are hot, man.
They have not shown any gameplay footage from that yet, and so I'm hoping we see that this year. Sony Santa Monica has been working with a lot of the external developers, but they have not shown any internally developed project for PS4 yet.
Yeah, I was going to say, they usually work with a lot of the smaller teams, or they work out, right?
Yeah, but they are the creators of God of War and of Twisted Metal and a bunch of other big Sony first-party things, and they do at least have one or two games in development now.
I think Twisted Metal is dead, but I think God
of
War is always
Twisted Metal is dead. But I have to imagine that there is going to be something new on the God of War front beyond the remaster of 3, and Cory Barlog, who was the director of God of War 2 and worked on God of War 1, is working on a game inside of Sony Santa Monica that he's not announced, but that is going to be a new IP.
Yeah, I was going to say, money's on a spiritual successor to the God of War series. Start over, new hero, new setting.
Yeah, so
with a Roman pantheon.
Hey! I wouldn't put it past him.
So there's that. There's also Street Fighter V is a Sony exclusive.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Well,
that's an exclusive?
Yes, it is published by Sony. It's being
funded
and published by Sony, so it is 100% exclusive forever. Capcom has confirmed it will never come to Xbox or PC.
Oh my god, that blows.
Wow.
I would play it on PC.
That's great for me.
What about the arcade?
Well,
no, it is being published by Sony, so it is
being
PlayStation. Capcom basically said no when Ono asked to make it, and Sony said we'll pay for it.
Capcom is such a stupid company. What is up with these Japanese companies shooting themselves in the foot?
I have no idea.
Capcom. They're all doing it. It's like it's like now is the time that we all make bad decisions. First you, then me. That's a lot. Let them just kill any of our momentum. People love phones now. Anyways,
it must be a cultural thing.
I guess so.
So Sony has a lot of potential, and I'm hoping that they deliver on it. And I hope they manage to. The actual show itself, I hope, is as enjoyable as Microsoft and Nintendo's, because I felt like last year Sony's show just structurally was not nearly as good as what Nintendo and Microsoft did.
All right, guys, let's spin on to our final topic of the night. The big one. The big N. The big N-I. The big N-I-N. The big N-I-N-T. The big N-N-T-E. Am I going to go all the way?
Nintendo!
N-I-N-T-E-N. N-I-N-T-E-N-D. N-I-N-T-E-N-D-O. I did the whole thing. There we go. Okay, I'm done. So, in Big Nintendo.
That was a good use of time.
Thank you.
That was
Nintendo...
great radio right there.
Oh, I can do even better. So I'm not going to, though. But anyways, Nintendo. I've got a Wii U. Who else has a Wii U in this room?
I do.
I have one in my mind. I can feel it. I have it in my dreams. I can see it. I can smell it. It's just you know what? It's like the guy who is in love with the receptionist at work or whatever, and he's like, we'll get together one of these days. She just has to notice me. That kind of thing. I just need it in my house, and then it'll be a dream come true.
First you get the khakis, Colin, then you get the chicks. Everybody knows that's the order.
Yes.
So we have a couple of us with a Wii U. Colin does not have a Wii U. No. So that makes you and Calvin the odd men out here a little bit. But Nintendo is not just Wii U talk. They also have the handheld line. Has anybody been keeping up with the handheld line besides me?
Yeah.
No, I do not.
Kind of.
Yes.
Okay, we have a kind of, and we have a Mike with a yes.
Mm-hmm.
So Mike's got a 3DS.
I do.
Why haven't I added you as a friend yet on it?
I don't know. I've actually been thinking about getting the new 3DS.
I got it. It's fantastic. We'll talk about that in a little bit. It's fantastic. But so, and Calvin, do you have a current Gen DS or a 3DS?
I have a 3DS XL.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I had that, and then I just upgraded 2 weeks ago to the new 3DS XL.
Yeah, I saw that in your codec call.
Yes, indeed. So the Nintendo handheld market, of course, going strong. I read somewhere that Sony is considering the Vita a retired piece of hardware, or like a classic piece of hardware now, or something.
Yes, they did say that.
Yeah, so you can see them politely bowing and exiting the room butt first. Basically, the room with the word handhelds painted on the door. And right now the only person in it is Nintendo and Android and iOS. But Nintendo is clearly taking up most of the room because the 3DS is still going strong as ever. I'm playing Xenoblade Chronicles, and it's a perfect Wii port down to the 3DS. It's fantastically fun.
Oh man!
I gotta say, it's an amazing time. And now the one thing about Nintendo is that they have the exclusivities for the 3DS XL, the new one now. You can only play Xenoblade Chronicles on the new 3DS XL. So is that going to be how they do the old the expansion pack trick, where like, oh well, you can get it optionally, but now you have to have it to play Majora's Mask.
Well, the difference with that is that you didn't need to buy a whole new Nintendo 64 for that, and the games that required it, like I first got my expansion pack with Donkey Kong 64, and it came included with the game, right? So if somehow I can buy a Xenoblade Chronicles, a copy of the game, and have the new 3DS packed in with it, then that would be great. But they're forcing me to buy now a whole new piece of hardware, which, granted is backwards compatible with all the other pieces of hardware, but this is something. All right, so maybe I'll save it for the codec call because you kind of brought this up in your last one, Joe. By the way, listeners, the Codec Call is a semi-weekly video show done by myself and Mr. Joe Locastro on YouTube. You can find it on the Ludus Press YouTube channel. It's a lot of fun. Go, please watch it.
By the way,
anyway,
you guys can feel free to record one anytime you want. Just jump in. Like,
oh yeah,
chime in
absolutely.
on the conversation.
Yeah, the more the merrier.
So, anyways, let's steer us back to E3 a little, Calvin.
Okay, so I have a real problem with Nintendo kind of just they're basically abandoning all of that old hardware that they had, and they're kind of, I wouldn't necessarily say it's a middle finger, but it's probably like, it's like that move where you put your four fingers under your chin and then you just flick them out, right?
Oh, yeah.
So they're kind of doing that to all the people who bought everything beforehand. When they keep releasing all of these new units that you can only, that the new games will only work on. So if you wanted to buy the new game, and you only had a 3DS XL or whatever, it wouldn't work. And I think that's kind of a dirty move. If you're not going to announce this is our next generation of handheld platform, if you're going to do that, that's fine. If you're going to say, hey, everybody, you want to play this game? We got a new generation coming out. It's the successor to the 3DS, and it's going to be great and awesome. But they're not doing that. They're keeping it with the 3DS brand, and I feel that that's just kind of a bit stinky.
Fair enough. Are there any games or anything at E3 though specifically that you're interested in seeing? Or
I did take a bit of a sidetrack there, didn't I?
That's fine. I'm steering this back on track. We gotta bring it home.
All right. Oh man, games are stuff that I'm interested in seeing from Nintendo at E3. You know what? I always love. I don't. Is Yoshi's Woolly World out yet, or is that going to be coming out?
It is coming out soon.
Okay, so they'll probably have that there. I would like to see some actual gameplay of that, because that's one thing that I am actually looking forward to. I was a huge fan of Kirby's Epic Yarn, and I love that they're kind of following through with this and creating a sort of next in line, following the same sort of theme of this like fabric-y world with another sort of like cutesy character that they have. I love it. I whatever it says about me, I don't care. I'm a diehard fanboy at this point.
Yeah, I really love Kirby's Epic Yarn, so
it's a brilliant game.
I am excited for Yoshi's Woolly World as well.
So, actually, Seth, do you want to take it next?
Sure. I have a Wii U, and I am hoping we get to see some cool new stuff for it. What do we have? We know that Zelda is not going to be there.
Right, I've heard that.
So, outside of that, there is the new Xenoblade Chronicles.
Yes, I need to finish the first one on my 3DS, but now I'm kind of invested in the series. I love a great RPG, and it'd be great to have some good console RPGs again if Nintendo's the one doing the hosting.
Yeah, and I think Xenoblade Chronicles X looks really good, so I'm excited for that. Devil's Third I'm interested in seeing more of. They released a video of it yesterday, but I
gotta go see that.
It was all in Japanese, and It was Itagaki talking for about 10 minutes over some gameplay, and if you don't speak Japanese, you're not going to get super much out of it. So I'm hoping for a translated version of that video or a video in English for that. I'm more interested to see how it turns out. It's not that I'm super excited for it. I did love Ninja Gaiden, but it hasn't really sold me yet.
Gotcha.
But I am interested. I'm interested in seeing Star Fox because Miyamoto has been saying that's going to be really cool. So hopefully it is. Other than that, I think Retro said they are going to have a game there. I think.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
So could be more Donkey Kong or Metroid or something else entirely.
Give me a Metroid. Give me a proper Wii U Metroid, and I'll be a happy camper.
Yeah, I know, Joe. You and I have talked about the Metroid Prime being such a great fit for the Wii U.
Absolutely. What a miracle game it would be for the system. A system selling steak in the ground. It's so great.
I cannot believe that there has been no Metroid Prime for Wii U yet. It is the absolute perfect fit for the system.
Yeah, it really
And
will instill a lot
somehow-
of customer loyalty and support.
Yeah, so I can't believe that has not occurred yet. So I'm really hoping that we see a Metroid Prime from Nintendo. And what else?
I'm really excited for. I want a firm release date for Mario Maker.
Yeah,
Really? Yeah, you pumped about that?
Yeah, I'm pumped about Mario Maker, man.
I have yet to get pumped about it. I don't make much in video games, so I don't. I will enjoy playing the stages, and I'll probably get it maybe if it goes on sale at some point. But I'm not that hyped.
Yeah, honestly, me neither.
Are you like? Did you really take advantage of the creative stage stuff in any previous Mario titles? I think there's been one. Hasn't there been?
No,
I don't think so. No.
Okay,
not
then I'm
really.
wrong.
I'm a huge Mario mark. It's been
Nice.
a part of my life since I was 2 years old, and being able to play user created levels that resemble NES Mario or Super Mario 3 or Super Mario World is super interesting.
Oh,
to me.
the fact that they're all different. I thought it was just NES Mario. Now I'm hyped.
No,
Okay.
it's Super Mario World.
I'm on board. All right, you sold me. Give me some Doki Doki Panic, some Super Mario Bros. 2. I'm super sold.
Yeah.
That's awesome. My dream game from the Nintendo side, and really the only one that I care about at this point. I want to see footage of the U.S. version of Yokai Watch for the 3DS. That game is going to be the Pokemon killer. It is currently out. It's outselling the anime is more popular, and the game is outselling Pokemon in Japan right now.
Oh, interesting. I was going to say, them's fighting words, Joe.
No, dude, it is the game all the kids are playing, and that was the case with Pokemon before it came over here.
Yeah.
And it struck a chord with the children and, most importantly, the man-children. The market is going to be it's ripe, and I think that people are ready for something to really challenge Pokemon's throne in a meaningful way with a similar gameplay style. Yeah, we had lots of big monster stuff, but Beyblade ain't no Pokemon.
Right.
So give me monsters fighting it out, and that's how they're going to do it. My other dream would be custom Robo, another custom Robo game, preferably for the Wii U.
Something that they do not currently have announced, as far as I know, is any sort of Mario platformer.
That's true.
Yeah.
So
What do you
I
think,
have to imagine.
Mario Galaxy 3?
What?
Mario Galaxy 3?
I have no idea what it would be, and I have long since decided that Miyamoto knows better than me when it comes to Mario, so I'm just going to be happy whatever they announce. But I have to imagine there is going to be a new Mario there.
I would like to see. I would like to see a new Mario RPG, a new Paper Mario.
Okay.
One done in 3D on a globe surface.
That would be cool.
That could be really neat, or just like an open world exploration based Mario, as opposed to a World 1-1 Mario. You know.
Another thing that they don't have announced is any sort of Kirby game.
Oh, really? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
Weren't they going to do a Kirby game for the 3DS with drawing on the tablet?
They already put it out.
Oh, they did. Okay, I missed that. Okay. Well, right over Joe's head.
There are 2 Kirby games out for 3DS or something.
Oh,
yeah, one of them is clay oriented, right?
I meant for the Wii U. I know Canvas Course is out for the 3DS. I'm talking about for the Wii U. I'm sorry.
Oh yeah, there was the Rainbow Curse thing.
Rainbow Curse, that's the one.
Oh well, there we go. Okay, I missed that one too.
Yeah, that one is also out. So.
Okay, good. Well then, I'm gonna hush up.
Let me ask you guys this. Sorry to interrupt. Does anyone care about Mistwalker anymore? Do we think that Mistwalker might have something cooking for Wii U anytime soon?
Mistwalker is working on. Oh my God, they have something announced they're working on.
Okay.
It is not a Wii U thing. I believe it is a handheld, as in phone thing.
Phones, yeah.
Interesting.
I mean, are they still relevant in the console space anymore?
They have not released a console game in quite a while.
The Last Story, I think, was maybe that's why they called it that. The Last Story.
Yeah.
Didn't they do Terra Battle on the Android?
Yeah, they did.
Yes, they did.
Yeah.
And that game is pretty good. But it's an
It
Android
is.
game. It's not a
Yeah.
big console RPG.
Is there as far as the handheld goes, is there a new Nintendo console coming out? Is there anything in the works as far as
Yes.
a new console?
Yes, they
Yes.
have something called the NX that they have revealed they're working on, but is obviously not going to be revealed this year. That would be really early.
It'd be a terrible idea. It would
Speaking
kill the
of
Wii
which-
U's momentum.
Along with that announcement, you guys remember that they did mention that they were going into the mobile space. Do you think we'll see something during their
Oh,
conference?
that's right. Yeah, we
Yeah,
will.
You're right. That
We're
that
gonna-
absolutely should be there.
We're going to see some sort of Android or, I guess, which side do you think they'll go with? Both of them? They'll publish to both?
I don't know.
I guess
Yeah,
maybe that's what
I
we'll
would
find
hope
out.
so. I would hope
What
so.
if it were a dedicated Nintendo thing that ran on the Android platform?
Like a Nintendo app that ran games?
No,
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm kind of just talking out of my ass here. What if it was like a Nintendo phone that had like Nintendo exclusive games on it that ran Android, so you could also do all your Android stuff.
And that's what the NX is, maybe?
But the only way you could play these games is to buy the Nintendo thing. I don't want to say phone because I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know if they're getting into the phone market yet. But
I see
I
what
don't
you're
know.
saying.
I don't know
I
if
see
I don't know if the Nintendo exclusives would be enough of a driving force to buy a Nintendo phone.
Yeah, maybe not quite enough, but I see where you're getting at. So does anybody
I'm
have any
just
sort of final?
spitballing here.
Does anybody have any sort of final points to bring us to an end of our Nintendo discussion? Wrap us up.
They had the best conference last year, and I'm hoping they'll have the best conference this year.
Yeah,
Right, very good.
if they can give another press conference equal to the quality, we've been calling it a press conference. Nintendo is not having a press conference; they're having a
Right.
digital video thing that they're releasing.
A direct.
Yeah, so a special direct for E3. So let's just make clear that there is no actual conference that is occurring.
Yeah,
but
it's not going to be a lot of flash in the pan, stand in front of the audience, and
Right.
smile pretty kind of stuff.
Right. So if that video is as well produced as last year, and if they announce as many cool games as they did last year, then I think Nintendo absolutely could steal this show.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see.
I think going into it, I think Microsoft. Well, let me ask everyone to kind of as a summary: what press conference going into it, going into E3, including the ones we haven't talked about, do you think have the highest chance of blowing you away?
Including the ones we haven't talked about.
That's an interesting question.
Highest chance of blowing me away would probably be Nintendo, possibly PC gaming show, but most likely not.
I'm going to say Nintendo's done a pretty good job of consistently blowing me away year over year.
EA could do some good if they show me that they're taking risks with their franchises.
I would want to say Sony because they sort of have the most to prove.
I like that we all have spread out answers though across the board here. Colin, are you still around? Do you want to see which you're excited about?
As far as the company goes, the thing I'm most excited about is Oculus Rift, hands down.
Okay, so
that's my opinion of the whole thing. But I'm interested in what everyone's gonna say about what they're producing.
Okay, cool.
I'm actually outside of. I think Nintendo has a good chance of really blowing them away. I'm also very interested in Square Enix's press conference.
I was dancing around it, but I think you're right. I think it's going to be something special coming from that camp. So
because they have the Eidos stuff with Deus Ex and a new Hitman and a new Tomb Raider.
Yeah, they're going to be rich with stuff.
So they got all that. They have
Final Fantasy 15.
Yeah, they have all the Final Fantasy stuff, and so I have a feeling the Square Enix press conference is going to be really awesome.
All right. Well, we're going to be listening with our ears to the ground to all these shows, of course. And
should I just say Ubisoft just to round everything out?
Yeah, just say it once.
Yes, we have said the word Ubisoft. Now let's not mention them ever again.
Yes, okay. And Ubisoft. Okay, so thank you guys for listening.
Hey, how about this? If Ubisoft actually has a good press conference, that would be the thing that would blow me away. Right?
Yeah.
Like if Ubisoft were to actually have a press conference that did not suck, that would be amazing.
Yeah, it's true. It's very true.
You know what? I don't know if they're planning on bringing Aisha Tyler back, but she's always the high point. I think she does a great job with their press conferences. If nothing else,
I really want all of the comedy at Ubisoft's press conference to go away. I just really want it to be about games like Microsoft and Nintendo did a really great job of. EA usually does a pretty good job of that. I think Ubisoft and Sony have both been doing really bad jobs in recent years of focusing on games at their press conferences.
Highly agreed. Highly agreed. The Microsoft conference about the Xbox One was horrendous, and it got raked over the coals for it.
And they completely, re-steered their ship last year
and fixed it.
And they nailed it. And I really am praying that every single press conference this year is either that. It has to be that because it's not the Nintendo thing, so it has to be that.
So that brings us to the end. Guys, thank you for joining me tonight. We had a much longer conversation than I expected, but it was very good. I think I had a lot of fun. This has been broadcasting live. We have one viewer who's still watching. I think it's Erica with her computer open across the room. But anyways, this will be up on YouTube as soon as I hit stop broadcast, and then we'll just pull it down, edit it, make it sound nicer. But honestly, we don't need much editing, guys. We did this really well, and I think if you guys listen to it tomorrow, tweet it out. Anybody who does listen to it, if you do like this format of the show and you want to join us live, we usually record on Thursday nights. So feel free to let us know if you want to watch the show. If you're interested in listening to it live, we'll do it again. It's been a good night, guys. So I'm going to let you guys go around and say goodnight really quick. Calvin.
Good night, everybody.
Colin.
Good night, everyone.
Mike.
Have a good night, guys. See you next week.
And Seth.
Good night. For those who are interested, this whole weekend I will be writing E3 articles. I will be having a Google Hangout open most of the time. So any of you guys who want to join me at any point this weekend, feel free. And anyone who is listening who wants to keep up with what I'm doing, then go to Ludus Press or to here.
All right. And I'm Joel Castro. Good night, everybody. Have a good night.